nerds! Welcome to Microdose, the channel for lore and reviews of artists with under 1 million listeners on Spotify. Today, we're diving deep into Yeule, a shape-shifting, boundary-smashing, multidisciplinary artist who builds sonic worlds where introspection and catharsis occur. Yeule, originally an internet artist who's since gained a devoted cult following, taught themselves music production and started sharing songs online at the age of 14. Now at 27, Yeule has 3 full-length albums under their belt and a 4th right around the corner. From making beats in their bedroom to touring across continents, Yeule's music has a way of sneaking into your heart and making the darkest parts of you feel held. In this video, I'll be doing a career retrospective on Yeule starting from their first EP in 2014 all the way until 2024. As always, I'll be sprinkling in lots of lore as well as my unsolicited opinion on pretty much every song in Yeule's discography. If you discover something new today, be sure to subscribe for more thoughtful yet unhinged content on your favorite artists with under 1 million listeners. Now, let's jump straight into Yeule's pre-debut lore. Yeule, who describes themselves as a non-binary painter, musician, performance artist, and cyborg entity, is no stranger to being chronically online. Yeule grew up in Singapore, and while they were a teen, they found themselves connecting more to people online than IRL. They often pretended they were older and adopted various pseudonyms while surfing the net. Nat Schmiel, the name they use IRL derived from the Polish word for moth, is one such online pseudonym. The name Yeule also started out as an online alias, one they used on sites like Tumblr, MapleStory, and Terra. It comes from the Final Fantasy character Yeule, a prophet with a fragmented soul who reincarnates over and over throughout the game. Painting was Yeule's first creative passion, but music was always a big part of their life. They grew up listening to everything from jazz to metal to 80s J-pop. Yeule's dad had a record player where jazz icons like Billie Holiday and Ella Fitzgerald were on heavy rotation. Bjork's Post is the first CD Yeule ever bought. In high school, Yeule listened to bands like The Teenagers, Franz Ferdinand, and Portishead. Once, while sneaking into a festival, Yeule met a friend also sneaking in who introduced them to Singapore's underground scene. Piano was the first instrument Yeule learned, with drums and guitar following later. As a teen, Yeule joined a few bands and also started making solo music. The Yeule project originally began as part of a larger art exhibition, but Yeule kept going with it, sharing music on SoundCloud and playing gigs in Singapore. In 2013, Meishi Smile, who founded LA-based net label Zoom Lens, discovered Yeule's SoundCloud and brought them into the roster, saying, "When I first heard her, I already had this vision of her path being very strong. Everything she does is very well curated and authentic." In 2014, Yeule released their debut self-titled EP with Zoom Lens. Let's travel back in time to examine the origins of this iconic artist. Released in 2014, Yeule's debut EP is comprised of 5 songs that could be categorized as chillwave, synthpop, or ambient pop. At this point, Yeule is still in high school, and their songs are pretty formulaic. Every song starts out with synths, then drums and processed vocals enter the chat. In an interview from 2015, Yeule names Purity Ring and Grimes as some of their musical inspirations. After dropping in 2012, Purity Ring's song Fine Shrine and Grimes' album Visions had the alt-Tumblr girlies in a chokehold. This was the context into which Yeule's debut EP was born. Now, let's listen to the songs off Yeule's very first musical project. On Ending, Yeule sings of endless rain and a girl whose smile fades away. Very Tumblr poetry coded. Still, the production of the song sounds amazing, and I love the way Yeule uses chopped up vocals as a synth. If anything, this track demonstrates just how far Yeule was able to advance their production skills with just a Wi-Fi connection and a dream. Heal is made of the same musical ingredients as Ending, but arranged slightly differently. The lyrics here are a bit more abstract. One memorable line goes, "Healing all the scars in your heart," which I feel like summarizes the entire ethos of the Yeule project. Impure stands out to me since it's slower than the other songs and has a darker, grittier sound. We get one synth playing 3 notes on loop and Yeule's high-pitched voice drifting beautifully alongside. Impure is an early example of Yeule writing stunning melodies over even the simplest beats. Intermission is the most vulnerable and lyrically dense song on the record, exploring love and the desire to connect with something real. Yeule wistfully sings, "Feeling your skin is like dreaming another life." It's interesting to see that while Yule's musical style has evolved, they remain inspired by the same human themes of authenticity and connection.
I was at school and I wanted to be my man.
Thoughts is the longest and most experimental song on the record. It doesn't have a melody, only samples of what sounds like someone talking on the phone. Yule's debut EP isn't their most groundbreaking or daring work, but it succeeds in architecting a vibe and exercising Yule's self-taught production skills. Ultimately, I view this project as a snapshot of a young producer developing their skills by emulating the work of artists they admire. It's a step every artist must take on their creative journey, and Yeule was amazingly only 16 when they took it. Time for a quick lore break. After the release of their debut EP, Yeule continues to share music online and collaborate on tracks with Zoom Lens label mates like LLLL and Oh My Moo. In 2016, Yeule moves to London to study fine arts at Central St. Martin's College of Art and Design. Now, back to the music. Pathos, the first record Yeule shares after starting college, marks an ambient, lo-fi turn in their music. Here, Yeule relies more on sound rather than lyrics to tell a story. Like their debut EP, Yule's music is still driven by synths, but on Pathos, they're using them to create different textures and moods. Yeule self-released Pathos and dedicated the record to David Singh, a friend of theirs who passed. Now, let's listen to the calming sounds of Pathos. When we think of the word desire, we think of wanting something with our entire being, maybe something that's just out of reach. Interestingly, Yule's song Desire feels like it's about wanting something you already have. The soothing synths and chord progressions come together to build a gorgeous, easeful lullaby. Unfortunately, Tint didn't work for me. It's basically a tossed salad of chopped up vocals that don't amount to much. I love Soulcatcher. It's almost like a Ghibli song in the way a single instrument conveys loneliness and wonder all on its own. The song also has a music box-like quality, which adds a dose of melancholy and nostalgia. On this song, Yeule sings about being held by an angel. The lyrics are entirely in Japanese, and from what I could find online, Yeule lived in Japan for some parts of their life and studied Japanese arts. Anyway, Angel's Wings is a sweet lullaby that envelopes you in a warm and loving embrace. About Her is notable for being Yule's first song, as far as I'm aware, exploring body horror. Cut me up on my skin. Swallow my pain and sin. Backed by a dreamy yet sinister beat, About Her is the darkest song Yeule shared until that point, previewing the themes they'll explore years later on their full-length albums. Promise is definitely the most ambient track on the record. It's all about letting the synths swallow you into their world. There are no lyrics on this song, just 4 minutes of uninterrupted vibes. I view Pathos as a project where Yeule is challenging themselves to leave their comfort zone. Yeule asks, what kind of emotions could I convey without relying on words and just using synths? The dreamy, atmospheric songs of Pathos are the result of that inquiry. This subtle yet dramatic shift towards world building and mood making is an important move that forms the foundation of all Yule's future projects. As its website describes, LostMemories.net is a game about teen girls, blogs, and love triangles in 2004. Yeule composed the soundtrack for this indie game, which came out in 2017. In the game, the player instant messages their bestie about middle school drama while viewing and building personal websites in the pre-social media era. Let's take a listen to the 3 songs Yeule composed for this project. When I press play on this track, I feel like I'm traveling back in time to inhabit a younger, more innocent version of myself. Red Archery Girl perfectly encapsulates the feeling of being online as a child in the 2000s. Every day, you boot up Internet Explorer to feed your Neopets, and the biggest threat you could possibly face online were pop-ups. Everything about Toon World just screams game music, and I mean that in the most flattering way possible. This song exudes melancholy, curiosity, and awe. Pegasus could totally fit in on Yeule's Pathos EP. Listening to this song feels like walking through an endless field of flowers in a dream. The arpeggio that repeats throughout also makes you feel kind of stoned. 10 out of 10, no notes. I am so happy LostMemories.net exists, cause scoring a game about being chronically online in the 2000s is exactly the type of thing Yeule excels at. As far as I know, this is Yeule's first time making music for someone else's project, and they absolutely slayed, demonstrating a keen ability to understand and contribute to a shared vision. Yeule's third EP, Coma, comes out less than a year after Pathos in 2017, and sonically, it's a big evolution from their previous works. Here, Yeule abandons minimalist chillwave for immersive soundscapes. Using an ever-expanding palette of synths like a paintbrush, Yeule successfully makes the leap from crafting short sonic vignettes to crafting rich sonic narratives. In a Fader write-up, Yeule shares that they wrote this record to commemorate the people they've lost throughout the years, through death, through parting, and through distance. Let's keep this in mind as we listen to the songs off Coma. Girls, I fear it's a banger. There are no lyrics on I Miss You This Much. Instead, it's the chorus of synths that provide all the intrigue and sonic texture we need. I can tell Yeule is having a lot of fun with this song, adding build-ups and drops that typically characterize dubstep music. It's honestly the perfect song for blasting off into outer space, or having a main character moment as you walk home alone at 2 a.m. We're starting off strong with two back-to-back slays. I love how supernatural and intergalactic this song sounds. The stunning piano riff that transforms into a synth riff has me ascending to a higher dimension. I Saw You in My Dreams Last Night is made of pure light and stardust. Death of an AI is a slower and sadder song on the EP. The main feeling I get is longing, not for life or permanence, but for understanding. This song marks the first time we hear Yeule adopting the perspective of a computer, a theme to which will return on later albums. I love the way Yeule blends piano with chopped up and stretched out vocals here. To me, Separation Anxiety exemplifies the atmospheric Purity Ring-esque sound Yeule was inspired by, and now they really have the skill and musicality to pull it off. How Could I Forget You is the most free and unconstrained song on the record. The rhythm meanders, the synths swell and shrink. If I were an obnoxious art critic, I would say that this reflects the non-linear and unpredictable path of grief. Thankfully, I'm just a simple gay, so let me share how I really feel. How Could I Forget You isn't my favorite, but at the end of the day, I've gotta let Yeule cook. Coma is a huge glow-up in Yeule's artistry. They're no longer just making beats. They're creating emotive sonic worlds for listeners to lose themselves in. It's the record where Yeule transcends being a bedroom producer to being an albums artist, and you really hear them zeroing in on the sounds and subjects that energize them. This record, released when Yeule was merely 19, is a project that paved the way for Serotonin II. More on that coming right up. Okay nerds, we're pausing again for some lore, cause the 2 years following Coma are huge for Yeule. Firstly, Coma gets a glowing review in The Fader, an American music magazine. Shortly thereafter, Yeule contributes a mix and interview to the magazine. This is a big deal because before then, Yeule was mainly being covered by local outlets and niche blogs. Now, they're gaining worldwide mainstream recognition. In April 2018, Yeule kicks off a new era and releases Pocky Boy as a single with zoom lens. Its deliciously creepy music video drops a few months later, accompanied by an interview in ID. Also that year, Yeule makes their Japan and US live debuts, all as part of Zoom Lens events. Before the year ends, Yeule self-releases Eva, Demo, and Pretty Bones. The first half of 2019 is pretty quiet, cause everything's happening behind the scenes. In July 2019, NYC-based indie label Bayonet Records announces that Yeule is signing with them, premiering the Pretty Bones MV to celebrate this new partnership. Bayonet writes, Yeule's innovative beats, whimsical synth parts, and vulnerable lyrics meld to create an original sound. Yeule reveals in an interview with Paper that their debut album is complete, and after that, it's go, go, go. On August 13th, Yeule's debut album Serotonin II is officially announced. Leading up to release, Yeule shares music videos for 2 more songs, Pixel Affection and Poison Arrow. On October 25th, Serotonin II drops, and lives are changed. Released in 2019, Serotonin II is the entirely self-produced debut album from then 21-year-old Yeule. This record is sonically closest to 2017's Coma, but more ambitious in pretty much every dimension, especially lyrically. Backed by dreamy, ethereal soundscapes full of synths and distortion, Yeule explores a variety of themes such as love, pain, gender, obsession, and digital disaffection. Let's step into the world of Serotonin II. Your shadow is the sonic equivalent of a loading screen in a video game. It's calm, soothing, and dreamy. Yeule ratchets up the energy of the record with Poison Arrow. The song starts off rather demurely with a lone synth melody, but then these drums and powerful synths come in and grab the steering wheel. Listening to this song feels euphoric, like riding a motorcycle through a tunnel at night. The music video for Poison Arrow is directed by Toby Buchan, and frankly, I found it a bit underwhelming. In the video, Yeule plays Penelope, one of their online alter egos who crafts an arrow they launch into the sky. Penelope then goes outside to brew a deep red tea. They drink the tea and dance. The arrow hits this NPC-looking guy with no drip, and Penelope runs to meet him, then walks away. I just feel like if you're in a Yeule music video, you need to have a cool outfit or makeup. If you love the Poison Arrow music video, let me know what I'm missing here. Eva is a glittery, down-tempo track about seeing and sharing in someone else's pain. The song is tender and heartfelt, never overdone or performative. This is thanks to Yeule's clever production choices where they strike the perfect balance between glossy, shimmering synths and gritty, processed vocals. I like to think of Eva as don't be so hard on your own beauty's little sister. This is another instrumental interlude on the record, and it appears to sample the song Ending off Yeule's debut EP. If you really dumb it down, Pixel Affection is a song about being chronically online. But it's written by Yeule after all, so it does go deeper than that. On Pixel Affection, Yeule illustrates the real feelings that emerge when interacting with the artifice of digital spaces. Pour my heart into simulation. Digital in reciprocation. Even though you're putting in your real feelings, you're getting back pixels on a screen, which are ultimately fake. In the Pixel Affection music video, Yeule plays a streamer who feeds their life force along with videos of J-pop duo Wink into a computer program that creates Avatar Yeule, who dances and sings on screen. Streamer Yeule has to wear these creepy contacts and plug themselves in to keep the simulation running, which has the side effect of making their skin peel off. Anyway, Avatar Yeule suddenly breaks free of the simulation, hungry for revenge on the person who trapped them. They stab streamer Yeule with a katana, but in the end, it appears to be Avatar Yeule who's bloodied and banished in a field somewhere. Pixel Affection's music video is a visual delight, exploring themes of persona and power in an increasingly digitized world. I like to think of Nuclear War Post 4 as a little palate cleanser before we enter the Pocky Boy cinematic universe. Pocky Boy was, is, and always will be a cultural reset. This is the first song Yeule shared off Serotonin II, and it's a gigantic sleigh from start to finish. You've definitely already heard this song, so I won't get into its addictive synth melody or lyrics. Let me instead do a dramatic reading of Yeule's incredible blurb for this song. There are 6 boys on the bleachers sharing a box of Pocky. They are watching me walk by, and I hear their crunching intensify. They bite hard into the pocky, some using their teeth to scrape the chocolate off the long, crunchy biscuit. They say nothing, but continue to eat from the tiny little box when two of them accidentally touch hands while reaching into it. They look at each other, sweating. The music video for Pocky Boy, directed by Yule's friend Hebe Wang aka Raw 2.2, gives the gays everything we didn't even know we needed. As ID's premiere article puts it, Pocky Boy is set in an abandoned school after civilization has been wiped out by an alien race, imagining the dawn of a new age where childlike non-binary beings exist free from the confines of today's societal pressure. In the video, Yeule plays a demented student with an axe who convinces the other kids they don't need to wear pants. Some vaguely threatening messages are exchanged, pillow fights ensue, and it's all fun and games until Yeule wakes up with a huge eye wound. I feel like we should blame the kid with the axe and the creepy smile. Pocky Boy is an era-defining classic and a formidable contribution to the non-binary canon. Pretty Bones attracted a lot of new fans to Yeule, and I can definitely see why. Firstly, the song's fast tempo and glitch pop sound are just super catchy. Secondly, the lyrics are accessible, don't you go leaving me, yet poetic, teary-eyed Pretty Bones. The eye-catching music video for Pretty Bones, directed by Joy Song, also contributed to its success. In it, we see these vibrant glamour shots of various foods and plants emulating still-life paintings. Then, Yule's hands destroy these creations. We get stunning time-lapse shots of fruit sprouting, as well as zoomed-in videos of various microorganisms. In a Reddit AMA, Yeule shares that Pretty Bones was inspired by the manifestation of beauty at the cost of your inner sanctity, as well as the nature of disorders, addictions, and how it looms over you like a curse. I love how there are so many ways to interpret this stunning video of life and decay. Reverie transports the listener to an ominous, distorted dreamscape. It's like a DJ set in the way it builds, transitions, and recontextualizes previously introduced sounds. Yule's spooky vocal sample first appears as a distant melody, but later it comes back and gets uncomfortably close. Reverie is cinematic performance art perfection. Blue Butterfly is the closest song on the record to the old debut or Pathos Yeule sound. I didn't find its lyrics very compelling, but I do think it works as a chill addition to an already full and exciting album. On An Angel Held Me Like a Child, Yeule sings of being held in an angel's embrace when the world and the people in it are cruel. The way the song blossoms from a ballad to a full-on rave is so healing and cathartic. It truly reflects the ability of love to fill up our entire being and soul. Veil of Darkness is the longest and most unexpected track on the record. The song is 1 part piano ballad, 2 parts church hymn, and like 10 parts noise. My jaw dropped during Yule's vocal part of this song. Without backing instrumentals or distortion, we get to hear Yule's voice all on its own. Pure, piercing, transcendent. Serotonin II is a record that excels on so many levels, sonically, lyrically, and visually. But apart from just being excellent, the record resonates so deeply with listeners because it centers the human within the digital. What I mean by that is, although Serotonin II sounds like stepping into an electronic dream world, its lyrics are grounded in human fragility and vulnerability. What results is an emotional, intimate, and moving work of art. This ability to build closeness with listeners is what helped Yeule stand out from other artists in the space and attract the cult following that continues to tune in today. Serotonin II is Yule's first release with a physical record you can hold, and it's well received by critics and fans. On release day, ID and Days drop profiles with Yeule. Without doing a full tour, Yeule performs a few shows in London as a headliner and as an opener. In 2020, the pandemic happens and Yeule returns to Singapore for their last year of college. Like many other artists during lockdown, Yeule goes on several live streams. Sometimes, they're joined by friend, collaborator, and fellow Singaporean musician Kin Leon. In April 2020, Yeule creates their public Discord server Yeule Cyber Dimension and posts lots of memes. Yeule closes out 2020 by dropping the music video for My Name is Nat Schmiel on New Year's Eve. Throughout 2020 and 2021, Yeule shares a bunch of covers of songs by artists like Grimes, Hailey Hendrix, and Big Thief. These covers are eventually compiled into an album called Nuclear War Post 10, which I really love but won't be covering in this video. On October 7th, 2021, Yeule's second album Glitch Princess is officially announced, accompanied by the music video premiere of Don't Be So Hard on Your Own Beauty. A few weeks later, Yeule shares an absolutely stunning performance for Sonar Festival where they play Clair de Lune and then unreleased song Eyes. Joining them on cello is musician Lucinda Chua, and joining them on laptop is hyperpop veteran Danny L. Harl. In November, Yeule shares the music video for Friendly Machine. At the end of 2021, Yeule unveils a promotional perfume called Code, developed in partnership with Urania London. It's marketed as scented software for non-binary cyborgs, and claims to offer protection against unrequited love, demonic summons, and more. Only 300 bottles are put up for sale, and honestly, what a tasteful blend of art and commerce. In January 2022, the last single Too Dead Inside, co-produced by Danny L. Harl, is released. 1 month later, in February, Glitch Princess finally touches down on Earth. Yeule describes the concept behind their 2022 sophomore album Glitch Princess as focusing on the error in things you would rather be perfect. In other words, examining the parts of ourselves we don't want others to see. If Serotonin II transports you to a synthy dream world, then Glitch Princess banishes you to a desolate underworld, though you do get to come up for air a few times. Unlike previous projects, Yeule brings in additional producers to craft this record. Kin Leon and Muramasa are credited on 1 track each, while Danny L. Harl of PC Music fame is credited on 5. Now, let's step into the haunted cyberspace of Glitch Princess.
My name is not Jamil.
This song, essentially a poem introducing Nat Shmuel as a persona, is beyond iconic. Every line is deceptively simple yet so revealing. I like being a boy. I like being a girl. Can you say genius? I like touching myself, and I like being far away from my own body. Literally ended Shakespeare. Now, let's talk about Yeule's delivery on this song. They managed to sound robotic, but eerily human, because there's no way in hell a robot could come up with those bars. The music video for My Name is Nat Shmuel is a low-budget, self-directed production that tracks a day in the life of being Nat. They play in their apartment, hang out with their cat, play music on the stoop to an empty audience, and lie in bed. The result is a contemplative inquiry into the existential questions that plagued us during the pandemic and beyond. There's so much to love about Electric. Its lyrics are harrowing, chronicling a love that keeps you alive when nothing else can. In the chorus, Yeule's heavily auto-tuned voice becomes a potent instrument blending man and machine. The song's explosive climax makes me feel like I'm barreling through the cosmos. Another cinematic masterpiece secured.
What makes you unlovable?
The way I interpret it, Flowers Are Dead is about feeling too broken to give or receive love. Furthermore, you're uncomfortable in your own body and maybe even repulsed by it. Flowers Are Dead is unapologetically grim.
Can I burn out on my own real body?
I love that Yeule includes at least one piano-driven track on all their albums. They've always been really good at bringing out the haunting qualities of the instrument, and Eyes is no different. Singing atop a tragic and stunning piano arrangement, Yeule fantasizes about destroying and escaping their own body. Perfect Blue is one of Yeule's few releases including a featured artist. Japanese rapper Toji has a very unserious verse in the song about doing coke in a car. Somehow, it kinda slaps. Here, Yeule shares their struggles with disordered eating, singing, "I'm sorry I'm not so keen on food." Perfect Blue, the song, is likely inspired by Perfect Blue, the movie, a Satoshi Kon psychological thriller about an ex-idol group member who becomes an actor. Both the song and the movie evoke a feeling of doom, like you know something bad is going to happen, but you have to keep going anyway. Don't be so hard on your own beauty, change lives. No exaggeration. The song, an ode to healing through forgiveness and gentleness, offers a moment of reprieve in between the bleaker songs of Glitch Princess. My favorite line is, "You see something more pure in me than this dirty." This breathtaking work of art is set in motion by Yeule's disarming lyrics, auto-tuned and backed by a simple acoustic guitar. The music video for Don't Be So Hard on Your Own Beauty is pure genius. Directed by Joy Song and choreographed by Aloysius Tan and Yeule, the body's movement becomes an instrument and language of its own. Yeule's motion looks childlike and free, but the reversal effect gives it a puppet-like and controlled quality. It perfectly illustrates the way humans both resist and are restricted by the narrow constraints of society. Color grading is another key part of this video's slay. We're transported to this vibrant alternate reality where the only thing that exists is beautiful, lush nature and Yeule. Mentally, I'm here. I love fragments because I'm a huge fan of noise Yeule. Lyrically, the song is a single verse that's repeated. The first time around, the only instrument accompanying Yeule are some quiet beeps. The second time, there's a full-on noise fest behind Yeule's voice, making their words hit that much harder. If I had to crudely summarize this song, I would call it depression, but make it a banger. Too Dead Inside is bar after bar about feeling trapped by the demons in your mind. Unable to escape the darkness inside, Yeule longs to be taken somewhere pretty enough to fill this empty. What I love most about this song is how animated and rhythmic it is, even though it's literally about feeling dead inside.
Bites on my neck, I'm still bleeding through all the bruises you left on me.
Bites on My Neck didn't work for me because I feel like it tries to do too many things at once. Still, I love the lyrics and the body horror of it all. When Yeule says, "I could have killed you with my bare hands," I'm like, yes, absolutely.
You know I hurt myself, but I hurt you. But I hurt you.
I Heart You is a message being transmitted to millions of phones around the world as we speak. Somehow, Yeule manages to crystallize the simple sentiment behind this phrase and blow it up into a song about how we never seem to lose the capacity to love others, even when we struggle to love ourselves. This song means so much to me. I could write a whole essay on the lyrics of Friendly Machine. At its core, this song examines the way we rely on devices for companionship and how that impacts our perception of ourselves. Yeule is haunted by thoughts of getting hit by a train, but the so-called Friendly Machine pretends to make it all go away. Joy Song returns to direct the music video for Friendly Machine, which uses movement and space to convey its message. The premise? Yeule is trapped in an enclosed room with no furniture aside from a chair. A psychiatrist watches them through a camera, reflecting the surveillance we undergo every time we use the internet. Yeule's movement, choreographed by Chantel Fix and Yeule, is erratic and robotic. They look possessed, like a robot has taken over their body. This is a visual analogy of how we relinquish control of ourselves to a computer every time we doomscroll or bedrot. When Yeule tries to escape, we get these stunning shots of black-haired figures holding them back. Eventually, Yeule starts leaking green goo. This confirms Yeule's humanity and reflects how our bodies rebel when they're contained. The material speaks for itself. Joy Song and Yeule never miss. Mandy is a hellish, demonic nightmare and a banger. At the start of the song, Yeule taunts you with negative self-talk, then yells, "Mandy!" as the deep-fried cacophony closes in on you. This song feels like being chased by your sleep paralysis demons, and I'm seated. All I have to say is, we gotta let Yeule cook. Personally, I think it's so sexy that Yeule decided to close out the record with a nearly 5-hour ambient track titled "The Things They Did For Me Out of Love." Absolutely goated behavior. All of Yeule's albums are artistic, but Glitch Princess feels more to me like a concept-driven art project than the others. Exploring the errors built into our programming as humans is the primary inquiry of the album, with each song zeroing in on one specific flaw. It's not all lofty concepts, though. The record is deeply personal, sharing Yeule's experiences with depression, eating disorders, and self-harm. Yeule's vocal delivery, as well as their production choices, like the glitchy beeps and the industrial noise, are utilized not just to make the song sound good, but to build a cinematic universe. Glitch Princess is Yeule embracing their inner art school child, and I'm here for it. Glitch Princess, another hit among fans and critics, continues to raise Yeule's profile in the music world and beyond. Serotonin II established them as an extremely talented rookie, while Glitch Princess cements them as a pioneer within indie electronica. As a result, Yeule receives write-ups from pretty much every outlet that matters. Glitch Princess's critical achievements include receiving Best New Music from Pitchfork and appearing on countless year-end lists. In March 2022, a month after the album drops, Yeule performs a 2-night installation titled Insecure at London's South Bank Centre. In the spring and summer, they open for Charli XCX Crash Tour, embark on their first headlining tour in the US, and play a few festivals. In June, Yeule takes pictures with a fan. Throughout the rest of the year, a flood of magazines scramble to release profiles of Yeule. My favorites are the pieces in Metal, The Meal, and Female. It's during these interviews that Yeule starts dropping hints on their new musical direction. They say they're getting more into emo, a genre they grew up on that they're excited to reconnect with. Notably, Yeule states, "I want to create a cyber-twee-esque mutation of both electronic and emo guitar sounds." In May 2023, we get to see exactly what Yeule's cooking up. They premiered the music video for Sulky Baby, which they describe as a 2000s alt-rock shoegaze hybrid tinted in sad satire. They also shared that they signed to a new record label, the London-based indie label Ninja Tune. In July, Yeule's third album Softscars is officially announced alongside 2 new singles, Daisies and Fish in the Pool. 3 more singles, Ghosts, Inferno, and Softscars drop in the next few months. Finally, Softscar makes its way to devices all around the world on September 22, 2023. In a pre-release interview, Yeule describes their 2023 album Softscars as emo for cyborgs. This sound is quite a departure from Yeule's previous eras, but rockstar Yeule works better than you'd think. Blending fiery guitars with glitch pop elements, Softscars is Yeule's most vulnerable work yet, exploring deep-seated traumas and coping mechanisms without hiding behind a persona. Yeule and Kin Leon are the primary producers of this record, with Moramasa and Chris Criotti also contributing. Get ready to headbang and let's jump into Softscars. What a way to kick off the record. The first line of XWX is Pretty Boy Psycho, Sicko Boy Psycho, but before you know it, Yeule is screaming about drugs, the origins of mankind, and loving someone until you die. We as a society aren't talking enough about how Yeule nails the emo sound after spending nearly a decade making synth pop. XWX goes hard, and Yeule is a genius. Sulky Baby is a slow-burning ode to Yeule's inner child. Speaking about this song, Yeule shared that they needed to go back in time and fulfill what she was starved of. In my opinion, Sulky Baby features some of the most arresting lyrics of the record. Yeule sings about wanting to jump off a cliff, but choosing to live when they meet the eyes of their younger self. Co-directed by Yeule and Jackson Whittington, the music video for Sulky Baby imagines the relationship between Yeule and their inner child. At the start of the video, Yeule wakes up and glumly sits alone on a roof. Inner child Yeule walks up behind them and shoots them with a water gun. As the kid follows Yeule around, Yeule befriends her and they form a close bond. Later, while the two of them sleep, some kind of fire threatens to destroy Yeule's home. Yeule breaks the window with an axe and carries inner child Yeule to safety. Yeule and the kid play and make more memories, but then the spell fades and inner child Yeule disappears. Yeule is once again alone, but protected and forever changed by their love for their inner child. On Softscars, Yeule sings, "You stabbed me right in the chest and made me bleed." In the next line, they describe their scars as soft and their blood as sweet. This is an example of writers using beautiful imagery to recontextualize and heal from painful experiences. It's a technique Yeule uses all throughout the album, and what makes it feel so cathartic. I'm unhealthily obsessed with For You, I Want To. If you read its lyrics, for instance, dehumanizing me, romanticizing me, you might think that this is a dark song that belongs on Glitch Princess. But the more you listen, the more you realize that For You, I Want To is actually a love song. Specifically, it's about loving someone who's not always faithful. Instead of drowning in sorrow, Yeule crafts a joyful and uplifting anthem celebrating an imperfect love.
Only as the curious can see ghosts like me.
Ghosts is an acoustic guitar-driven ballad and, according to Yeule, a revelation of finding my own flesh after feeling hollow for so long. The lyrics here are poetic and heartbreaking, told from the perspective of a person who feels like they're already dead. Yeule sings, "If you hold a gun to my head, I'll laugh instead." The self-directed music video for Ghosts features two main characters, Black Lipstick Yeule and Black Wing Yeule. Black Lipstick Yeule barely acknowledges Black Wing Yeule lying wounded on the floor. They're too busy peeing and examining the hearts in the sink. Both Yules are two sides of the same person. Black Lipstick Yeule is cold and emotionless, whereas Black Wing Yeule is vulnerable and brutalized. The soft yet powerful climax of the song takes place in a church. A third Yeule crawls up off the floor and opens an umbrella. What we're witnessing is the birth of a new Yeule who represents the merging of the two. This reflects Yule's discovery that they don't want to suppress any of their sides anymore. Together, all of Yule's sides, even the ones they used to hide away, form one whole and embodied person. The guitar riff in Daisies is simply scrumptious. I love the contrast between the rocking guitars and Yule's exasperated, almost deadpan vocals. Story-wise, Daisies chronicles Yule's experience loving someone who's depressed and can't take care of themselves, no matter how much they're loved. Daisy's music video, directed by Zhang and Knight, provides a beautiful visual to complete the narrative. We start off with zoomed-in shots of Yule's bandaged face and a few detached body parts. Then, the camera zooms out to reveal all of Yeule. Their limbs are torn apart and the tiles they lay on are cracked. An angelic figure appears by Yule's side and stabs them with the coolest-looking knife. Fluorescent strands of light shoot out of a hole in Yule's chest. The camera takes us all the way into the hole, where we meet another Yeule struggling to break free. When we go back to outside Yeule, we see that blue flowers have bloomed around them. Glowing and lovely, inside Yeule starts to dance. This shining figure represents the childlike spirit that lives within us, even as our physical form decays. Daisies is a bittersweet meditation on depression. Piano Yeule is back, and I love that for me. Fish in the Pool was composed by Shunji Iwai and is part of the soundtrack for The Case of Hannah and Alice. This instrumental interlude brings a note of wistfulness to Softscars.
You can download my mind and pick up the pretty parts for you.
The way I interpret it, Software Update takes an unflinching look at body dysmorphia and how it impacts our relationships with others. Yeule feels broken and tries to fix themselves with the software update, which only makes them continue to want to lose weight. When others express their love for Yeule, Yeule doesn't believe them and thinks they're only saying it because they're programmed to. As a result, Yeule feels unloved and continues to spiral. Eating disorders are still a taboo subject, so I'm really grateful for how openly Yeule shares with us.
Heartbeat, heart sink, heart broke, don't sink, don't.
Unfortunately, Inferno is a skip for me. I found its production a bit boring, and lyrically, I don't think it adds anything to Softscars that's not already covered by other songs.
Blood bunny, pierced tummy, soft skirt, da, da.
Blood Bunny is a bop. The lyrics are so fun and creative, and Yule's commitment to angel numbers must be applauded. Thematically, Blood Bunny invites the listener to imagine the components of a human apart from the flesh. Blood, data, trauma, nectar, Softscars. As Yeule says, don't you feel so pure when you don't have a body?
With my virtual lover, what can I blame?
Cybermeat is a glam rock banger for non-binary hotties of the internet age. Celebrating the contradictions within, Yeule sings of being android and human, girl and boy, synthetic and organic. Yule's vocal intuition on this song is perfect. They know exactly when to scream and when to whisper. Cybermeat is also Yule's first collaboration with Chris Griotti, a guitarist known for working with Willow and Eve Toomer. It's a hot team-up we might see more of on Yule's forthcoming album. If you're not already aware, Aphex Twin is an influential electronic musician who's highly respected by people in the industry. And twin flame refers to someone who's spiritually and destined to be your other half. On Aphex Twin Flame the song, Yeule sings of a once-in-a-lifetime love that's physically concluded but spiritually immortal. It makes perfect sense that Yeule chose emo as the vehicle for Softscars, a record where they bear their soul, their scars, and their humanity. Not that you can't be confessional on synth pop, but something about electric guitars really encourages you to belt your heart out and achieve catharsis. I also love how Yeule added their own twist to the genre. Obviously, the lyrics on this record are uniquely Yeule, but the songs also include an electronic element that defines Yeule's early sound. Yeule's ability to shapeshift and innovate while preserving the authenticity we've come to love is no easy feat, and the reason I'll be seated for all their future comebacks. Like all prior projects, Softscars is a hit. Yeule's daring venture into a new sound and style is pretty much universally praised. To promote the record, Yeule embarks on their biggest headlining tour ever, with stops in Asia, Europe, and North America. This time, they bring bandmates. On guitar, we have Sasami, and on drums, we have Fitness, two amazing artists of their own right you should definitely check out. The tour starts in fall 2023 and ends in spring 2024. In January 2024, Yeule uploads another game soundtrack to their Bandcamp. The game is called The Overture Prototype and has a super aesthetic, if unreadable, website. For the rest of the year, we don't get a new album, but we do get several important singles. In March, Yeule releases their cover of Anthems for a 17-year-old Girl for the A24 movie I Saw the TV Glow. In June, Muramasa drops We Are Making Out featuring Yeule. And in October, Yeule drops Echo, the first single from their forthcoming album. Let's jump straight into these iconic tracks.
Used to be one of the rotten ones, and I left you for that.
I haven't included Yeule's covers in this video, but this one is very special. Firstly, it's hard to understate the cultural impact Anthems for a 17-year-old Girl had on alt millennials and Zoomers. The original song is by Broken Social Scene, a Canadian indie rock band that has some bangers but few as touching and resonant as Anthems. When I discovered that Yeule was covering this diva for the A24 movie I Saw the TV Glow, it really was my Roman Empire. Anthems for a 17-year-old Girl charts the experience of being old friends with someone who's climbed the social ladder and betrayed the outsider they used to be. In I Saw the TV Glow, the protagonist basically does that, choosing conformity and self-preservation over authenticity and ostracization. The movie's director, Jane Schoenbrunn, wrote the film as an allegory on transitioning a few months after starting HRT. She's a huge fan of Yeule, specifically Softscars, and knew they'd be perfect to cover the song. At the time of filming, Anthems is the most streamed song on Yeule's Spotify, as well as the most streamed song on the movie's soundtrack.
We are making out on the line. We are making out in real life.
We Are Making Out is technically a Muramasa song featuring Yeule, but I had to include it because it slaps. Muramasa is a London-based producer most known for doing Boys a Liar by Pink Pantheress, but he's worked with plenty of artists like Charlie XCX and Shy Girl. So far, he's worked on 2 Yeule songs, Bites on My Neck and Softscars. Muramasa invited Yeule to do the vocals for We Are Making Out, a song released on a new record label he's starting. Besides being insanely catchy, We Are Making Out is proof that Yeule is versatile enough to deliver hits outside their genre, like in club music. On this song, Yeule sings about making out while riding the subway in London, something that's honestly hard to imagine an alien cyborg ever doing. However, there is one line on this song that feels totally Yeule. They sing, "We are making out because you drew a picture of my heart on a guitar." This line, along with its iconic music video, makes me feel that We Are Making Out has earned its place in the Yeule cinematic universe.
Acid dripping, silver spinning.
And that's a wrap on songs I'm reviewing in this video. There is, of course, one important release I haven't covered here. Echo, the first single off Yeule's not yet announced next album. If y'all are interested, I'll make another video outlining what we can expect from Yeule's forthcoming album, and of course, sharing my delusional predictions for what's on it. If that sounds like something you'd enjoy, please support your local Yeule stan and leave a like, a comment, and smash that subscribe button. Let me know what I got wrong, what I got right, and your spicy Yeule takes. To close out the video, I'll leave you with an iconic quote from the legend themselves. 5 years ago, a Reddit user asked Yeule, "What do you hope your lasting legacy will be?" And Yeule responded, "I want to be that one internet girl who tried to be an edgy J-pop idol on a budget." Thank you so much for watching and staying all the way until the end. As per usual, let me know which other artists under 1 million listeners you want me to review next. Bye, nerds!
And she echoes